Hello, welcome to the Lone Show. I'm your host, John Lone. In this episode, no regulars because reasons, as always. As for our guest, he's from the Bay Area in California. He works in health and transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Tavares Garrett.
Hey, hello everybody. How's everybody doing over there? Thank you so much for having me. It is truly a pleasure to be here with you today.
You're welcome. So, how's life?
Life is beautiful, hardworking. It's ease and flow. That's what I like to do as much as I can when it comes to navigating life. I like to be right in between the ease and the flow of things. How's life going
Hmm.
for you?
Well, my life's going great. As
Nice,
always, apparently.
nice, good. Happy to hear that. It's exciting and inspiring.
Yes. Pardon?
I said, and very inspiring as well.
Yes, exactly. Is there anything you're currently working on at the moment?
Absolutely. Currently, at the moment, um, I am working on the Body Synthesis, which is my company. We provide nutrient-rich preventative medicine coaching, and we do that with mind, body, spirit, and nutrition methods and skills. So currently, I'm working on that. We are releasing new packages for our members to get involved in. And this is a space where we cultivate being better, right? This is a space where I get to gently remind my members of the giant that they have inside of them. I believe everybody has a giant, like a sleeping giant inside of them. And sometimes we tend to forget a little bit about ourselves simply because we're going about our day trying to handle, life, work, and juggle all of that. So currently just working on helping people be better, helping people be very patient with themselves, helping individuals show themselves grace. And I do a lot when it comes to helping individuals get over fears that they may or may not have when it comes to their journey. So my hands are in a whole lot of things. I'm a servant leader. That's what I love to do the most. Serve people, help people. I believe a great way for us to empower ourselves is to go within. And when we go within, I believe that we are able to really tap into better versions of ourselves that we are able to summons to bring out to share with those on the outside of our lives. So, yeah, having a great time with just helping people, serving people. As you put, I'm a health and transformation educator. I've been in this position for a very long time. And it continues to be very rewarding because I get to see people evolve and I get to see them overcome things that they normally wouldn't even try. So it's a lot of fun.
Nice, very good.
Thank you.
And what inspired you to go along on the path that you are on right now?
My own story inspired me. I was born in 1975 to my mother and father. My mother was a San Francisco police woman at the time, and my father was a captain in the San Francisco Fire Department. 2 years later, in 1977, my father tried to kill my mother. He shot at her 3 times with a pistol as she ran from the house to save herself, leaving us, her 4 children, behind to go get help. She returned later on that day with the San Francisco PD, and there was a negotiation that took place, lasted a few hours, and he finally let myself and my sisters go. My mother never looked back. We moved 45 minutes south to a city called San Jose in the South Bay of the Bay Area, home of the .com. That's where San Jose is, Silicon Valley. And that's where my grandparents lived. And so I was raised in San Jose. And so I have very humble beginnings. I come from violence. My father was a very violent man. My mother is a domestic violence survivor. And so we moved a lot in that time too, 36 times over my childhood. So as a young kid, I didn't have a lot of stability, but I also had to learn how to make do with what I had. And so that put me on this path of creativity because we didn't have a lot growing up. So I had to really rely on my imagination to really pass time. So as I got older, I was able to use the anxiety that I had built up from being the new kid in school. You could imagine always being the new kid in school, that can drive a kid's anxiety up. And I didn't like that feeling. And so it wasn't until much later in my life, my younger 20s, when late teens, early 20s, I started to really utilize that emotion and that energy. And I made it work for me. I started doing public speaking. I got involved in music, hip hop to be exact. I began writing, producing, engineering in the studio. And so I found my out. I found like an outlet, and that was great. Um, and hip hop really played a huge role because it brought me comfort. Music in me, I have a very nice love affair with music, drums, melodies, piano, saxophone, guitar, you name it. So all of these things really played a huge role in the person I am today, because if it wasn't for me performing on stage and going on tour, then I probably wouldn't be the public speaker I am today or the orator I am today. And so that allowed me to be able to stand up in front of people. But then the real work happened when I became an adult myself, my mid 20s, late 20s, began drinking a lot. I was in the party scene, and it wasn't really adding up anymore. And so in my late 20s, I was in a relationship. It lasted 13 years. That was the last relationship I was in before I am in the one I'm in now with my lovely wife. And so the breaking point of that relationship really catapulted me to where I am. Well, I'll say it started the thought process that I move with today. I knew I had to do some self work at that time. And so I utilized that opportunity to really build myself up. Now, it wasn't easy because I stopped drinking, I stopped drugging. And a lot of people think when you stop drinking, this is when like all the good things come. But that wasn't my case. See, when I stopped drinking, that was when the real work began. That was when I had to really deal with those internal demons, right? So I had to learn how to get uncomfortable with myself. And where most people probably pray first when they need help, I prayed last. So I had to finally get sick and tired of being sick and tired of myself. And now I've been sober over 10 years. I haven't had a drink. And so that put me on this path to health and transformation education. I work out 6 days a week. I drink a lot of great water, and I care about what I put into my body because I realize that I call on my body for a lot. I put a lot of demand on it, and not just physically in the gym, but even mentally, right? Even when it comes to building my business, when it comes to brainstorming, perhaps even doing an interview, I have to be in a peak state. And in order to do that, I had to really care about my mind, my body, my spirit, and my nutrition. Once I put all those on one accord, it allowed me to see things different. It allowed me to approach myself different as an individual. It allowed me to step into myself with more intention and less fear. See, a lot of people, when it comes to fear, they allow that fear to paralyze them and stop them right where they're at. In fact, many times that fear will stop us before we even go to do the thing we want to do. And so what I grew to realize and understand was anything that I wanted in life, there was a pretty good chance that there was going to be a difficult decision attached to it. So I had to become familiar with the unfamiliar. A lot of people don't like to venture off into the unknown, but I'm here to let you know that is where a lot of the blessings or a lot of the gems that we want are. They're in the unknown. Some of us want to be very certain of what we're going to see, but life isn't always like that. So I took my own story, I took my own struggles, I took my own pain, and I infused that into my purpose. And the reason I said by way of hip hop is because I never knew that hip hop would take it this far. Well, take me this far. See, as a kid growing up in the hip hop era, it was just about the drums, the sound, the feeling, the vibration, and of course the storytelling. But it was really cool once I became an educator in this particular industry. I was able to lean on some things that I learned through the experiences in hip hop. I was able to lean on the experience that I learned through writing or through engineering or just through working with people. And so I'm very grateful for where I'm at currently in my life. Thank you for the question. That was a great question.
You're welcome. And as a health and transformation educator, what have been the highs and the lows?
The lows, let's start with the lows. The lows, probably starting the business, getting the business going, right? And I want to use the word low loosely because this is where the grind happens, right? I've often said, I used to run a music label called the Camp Music Group, and I also ran another label called the Billy Boy Music Group. And one thing I learned in those positions, running a label, was that I was going to be able to work with some of the best people ever. But I had to also understand that it wasn't always going to be easy working with the best, right? But I did understand that building communication, building relationships, building camaraderie was going to be very, very important. So some of the lows that I've experienced in my business has simply been just about building the business, acquiring good people. But if I didn't have those lows, then I wouldn't have the highs. So it's so important that I recognize those lows and I utilize the energy in that space and not allow the lows to really bring me down to like a screeching halt or a pause. Really, the lows, in my opinion, they are there to help me learn and to help me be better. Now, some of the highs, watching people change in real time, watching people evolve in real time, watching people in spirits come together and say, you know what, I can do this now. See, when you see somebody or you meet somebody or you work with someone who has already given themselves a lot of doubt, they have all these preconceived notions why they cannot do something, it's kind of a bit of a bummer. So when I work with individuals like this and we're able to connect, I'm able to remind them of just how special and important that is. And I do that through a process that's called visualize, plan, execution. And so I take them on kind of like a virtual trip. I remind them of their past, but then I bring them to their present. And when I bring them to their present, they become very happy because they realize they made it through their past. And then when we talk about the present, I help them to focus on the future that's right in front of them. And what they really begin to understand is they're still moving forward. They're not moving backwards and they're not stuck. So one of my grateful highs and where I feel a lot of gratitude is watching individuals change and show up to themselves in real time and overcome fear and adversity. It's a really good high. It's something beautiful to witness because a lot of folks, what I found in my business and my line of work, they doubt themselves. A lot of people count themselves out instead of counting themselves up and in. And a lot of that comes by way of generational influence, cousins, uncles, maybe the way, generations before them have lived. So it's great for me to be in this position to serve people. I love serving people. That's my purpose. I truly believe that. I know my passion is for myself, but my purpose, I believe, is for others. And so I'm happy to serve. Great question. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. If your mind was an island, what would it look like?
It'd be massive. Oh my goodness, it'd be massive. It'd have a lot of green vegetation on it. It'd have life on it. It'd be beautiful. A lot of greens, a lot of colors, a lot of fuchsias, a lot of pinks, purples, and yellows. Life would be harmonious on that island. There'd be waterfalls that would speak to the depth of my character and my emotion, for sure. Even my spirit. The island would be a mystic island. You could only arrive there by plane. It would be an island that would be just riddled with beautiful animals, beautiful life. Um, and there'd even be food growing on that island, some nice fruits, lovely bananas and cherries and raspberries and blueberries, things to sustain life. And that's what I would hope that my island would be. It would be a place where life could sustain, where emotions and vibrations could sustain, where frequencies could reach an all new high in connecting with spirits alike. That's what my island would be. That is a really good question, my man. Thank you very much. I'm going to take that one with me. That's a good question. I've never been asked that before. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was good, man.
Yeah.
I like that question a lot. Wow.
Sweet.
Very nice.
Oh,
Very nice.
yes.
Very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Give me another one.
Okay. If someone wrote a book about you, what do you think its title would be?
Overcoming adversity. Overcoming adversity. That's what it would be. Um, my life has been that. I can say that completely, genuinely, transparently. You know, I've lived a life where, and many of your listeners can probably relate to this, where I was always waiting for the bottom to fall out or the other shoe to drop, so to speak. I would walk through life with this fear of things just not going well. Growing up a lot and moving that much, it was difficult to feel certainty. It was difficult to have a place to call home. We moved a lot, and in moving a lot, I had to switch schools a lot. And in doing that, I had to start and stop relationships. And so, and then of course, you know, we were on like government assistance growing up. So it was tough. But my mother, she raised four of us by herself. She's my hero. I learned a lot from my mother. And, you know, she always continuously taught us to show up to ourselves. She always taught us to keep our heads up. She always taught us to love ourselves, no matter what was going on. And even as a kid growing up, you know, we didn't have a lot. And so when Christmas came, my mom would make Christmas like the best Christmas ever. And it always blew my mind because I really never knew how she did it. Because she complained a lot, you know, like any, I think, parent would do with four kids, right? It wasn't easy. It was tough at times. But she always made it happen. And seeing my mother making it happen over and over and over and over, working three jobs, taking care of four kids. And I mean, that was my life. I'd come home. Sometimes she'd be there. Sometimes she'd be working her third job. Sometimes she'd be at her second job, leaving to go to her third job. And she wouldn't go home till like 9 at night. So we didn't always go to bed with my mother at home at bedtime, but she arrived shortly thereafter. So it was always overcoming adversity in some way, shape, or form. My mother wasn't and is not even to this day the mother you came home and cried on her shoulder to. My mother is very stern, and I believe she had to be because we grew up in survivor mode. For any of your listeners who understand survivor mode, one thing you understand about that is it's very hard to get comfortable in survivor mode. You're always on the ready, you're always staying ready. And so that would be the title of my book, Overcoming Adversity. Great question. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. I've done interviews quite a bit, in fact, but you have really great questions. And I can't remember the last time somebody asked me some really great questions. So thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Hit me with another one.
All right then. How did you spend your last birthday?
Oh, with my lovely wife, Amber Johnson Garrett. Dinner for two in San Francisco, um, at this beautiful steak house called Epic. It's right on the Embarcadero. It looks right out at the Bay Bridge. It is to die for. If you're ever in San Francisco, go to Epic. It's on the Embarcadero. You cannot miss it. It is the place you want to dine at. You have a beautiful view of the Bay Area, Bay Bridge, and the water is right in front of you. But we spent it there. We had dinner. I'm pescatarian, so I eat fish. Um, and it was a nice dinner for two. We like to do things like that. My wife and I are high school sweethearts, college sweethearts. We reconnected after 18 years. And so now in this second act of life, I'm truly, truly grateful for her light, for her spirit. And she's the kind of spirit where my wife, she buys cards all the time, like birthday cards, Christmas cards, whatever she can get her hands on. She loves to keep a stock of, these extra cards around. But it's not only that makes her so unique. It's the fact that she has a skill to find what appears to be the most perfectly written card. You would think these cards are custom designed cards. This is how good she is, but they're not custom. She has a knack for finding some of the best cards. And so that's how we spent my last birthday, with one of her beautiful cards, a table for two at Epic in San Francisco Bay Area. Beautiful. Thank you for that. You have very nice questions. Thank you. You really do.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
What else you have? Give me another one.
All right then. What kind of music do you often listen to?
Oh, hip hop. That's what I love. Hip hop and R&B. I've definitely, I love all of it. Pop, reggae, Afro beats, high energy techno, drum and bass. I love it all. But hip hop, that is my go-to. I grew up hip hop everywhere, from Too Short to E40 to Tupac to Biggie to Wu-Tang to Eric B. and Rakim, Diggable Planets, Souls of Mischief. Oh my gosh, the Fu-Schnickens, Ice Cube, Easy E, Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, Jay-Z, De La Soul, Bob Marley, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Prince, Barry White. I can go on and on. I'm like a music enthusiast. Music, it runs through my veins. I have been a musical artist for more than 20 years myself. Like I said, I performed, I've been on tour as a hip hop artist. I have over 500 songs myself in the marketplace on all musical platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, all of it. I did a lot of work in my hip hop career, and a part of the reason, a huge reason, was because of my passion for the arts, my passion for creating. I'm a published author, and that all happened because of hip hop. I wouldn't be an author today if it wasn't what I did with hip hop, if I didn't fall in love with the drum, the bass, the rhythm, the melody, the kick drums, the rapping, the flowing, writing bars, 16 bars here, 32 bars there, hooks. I'm a student of life and a student of hip hop. And I still write, I still perform. I recently just listened to the most recent rap battle between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. So I'm definitely in there when it comes to what's going on in hip hop. I like to believe I am. But we all know hip hop moves fast, right? The whole industry, music as a whole, entertainment as a whole moves so fast. The genre's always changing, but hip hop is my go-to. It definitely is. When I'm in the gym, oh yeah, like on Saturday mornings in the gym, I put on my Pac. Pac is a great person to listen to when it comes to getting it in the gym. But Monday through Friday in the gym, I read Audible books. I listen to books. So I'm really heavy on continued education. I love reading. I read over 36 books in the last 3 months. I love that. It's a great way to keep the brain sharp. And when it comes to hip hop, it's a great way to get a workout in and a great way just to kind of reflect and to feel good and to dance. Let's be honest, hip hop music has been here to stay for a long time, and the genre continues to evolve. It continues to bring out the best in artists and some of the worst in artists. But overall, creativity is what I believe the world has been built on. Everywhere you look, creativity is on full display, whether it's a building, a car, clothing, a pair of shoes. Everything we see in this world started with a thought, and that thought came from someone's mind. They had to be creative. We are all born creators. So when it comes to hip hop and when it comes to being in the space in between the kicks and the drums, the snares and the hi-hats, I live there, and I live there in peace. Thank you for that question. Wow, that was a nice question.
Yeah.
Really cool question.
Yes.
How do you come up with these questions? Let me ask you that. This
All
is your,
right.
but how do you come up with these great questions?
Well, when I first started, like over 2 years ago,
Okay.
I was just looking online for like interesting conversation starters,
Mm-hmm.
and then over time, a couple for months, I came up with questions of my own and used
Nice.
that for the guests.
Nice. Very nice. They're really good. I love them. They're very they land well, and they're personable, and they are great conversation starters. So great job.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. Hit me with another one. I'm yours for another few moments.
All right then. What is your favorite quote?
Oh, success is a choice, not an accident. That is my favorite quote. It's at the bottom of my emails. I use it all the time. I have several others, but success is a choice, not an accident. Um, I've been using that quote and writing it down and sharing that quote for more than 20 years. And I love that quote because I believe it, but more importantly, I believe success is a choice. And look, success looks different on everybody. Let me be very clear about this. And everyone defines success different. Okay. To some people, you know, a couple $1 million in the bank is successful. To others, family that loves each other is successful. Some people think having the car collection of their dreams is successful. So success looks different on everyone. For me, success is about being happy. It's about filling my cup of life with the things I love and that are dear to me. And it's also about serving others. I wake up every day asking myself, how can I serve? I really do. It makes me happy. It gives me a baseline to lead into the day with. When I'm in a space of being a servant leader, I thrive. I really do. I thrive in that space. And so knowing that for me, success is a choice, that's empowering. I have a lot of control over that choice. And so I want to make good on that. And so I love to serve. And that to me equates to success, equates to happiness. And of course, you know, I believe that the if you want to get something you want out of life, the quickest way to get what you want is to help other people get what they want. It truly is. I believe that. And you'll never go without anything a day in your life. And that's how I serve. I help friends, I help family, just because I love to see them get what they want. If they desire it, I try to be a part of the vehicle that can provide it. And that's where, you know, the teach one, each one teach one concept comes into mind. Um, so yeah, success is a choice, not an accident. As far as accidents go, yeah, I know people get successful by accident if they believe it's an accident, but I like to be of the mind that if we are doing something that is in line with our passion or our purpose, is it really an accident? If we're actually putting toward effort and energy toward the thing or things we want, is it really an accident? It's probably only an accident if you're not really looking for it, nor anticipating or expecting it. But if it's already been a thought at one point in time in your mind, then it just may not be an accident. See, the prerequisite to getting what you want out of life is just wanting it. That's it. You don't have to have a business plan in that particular moment. You don't have to have a whole lot of money. In fact, you don't need any money to get what you want. When it comes to what you want, the only prerequisite is the desire to want it. After that, you are going to understand what it means or what it's going to take to get there, because naturally your curiosity is going to lead you into what's next. What are the next steps? And in that case, we take small steps. Why? Because small steps equate to big results. Thank you for that question. That's a great question, man. You're a great host.
Thanks.
You're very, very welcome. Hit me with one more before we go.
All right then. Where was the furthest you traveled to from where you were originally from?
Oh, St. Lucia was the furthest, I believe. Yeah, St. Lucia. Either that or Ocho Rios, Jamaica, but I think it's St. Lucia a little further. Um, that's where my wife and I, Amber Johnson Garrett, we got married in St. Lucia. Shout out to our St. Lucian brothers and sisters out there. St. Lucia is a very, very, very beautiful place. For anyone who has or has not gone, I say go. And if you've been, please go again. It's super beautiful.
Oh dear. The audio got cut off. Oh, you're
What's
back.
that?
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah. Sorry about that. My
whatever you
phone was
whatever
ringing.
you said, I didn't know how you. The audio got cut off
Oh,
for some reason.
sorry. My phone was ringing. I will say it again. St. Lucia is the furthest place that I've been. Ocho Rios, Jamaica was another, but I think St. Lucia is a little further. My wife, Amber Johnson Garrett, and I, we got married there in St. Lucia. We spent 2 weeks there. So we got married week one, hung out, and then just stayed there for our honeymoon for the rest of that time. And there and the Sandals Latac, that's another resort out there in St. Lucia. Love the St. Lucian people, the culture, the food, the ambiance, the vibration, the frequency. Learned a lot about their culture, learned a lot about myself being out there, both my wife and I. So yeah, St. Lucia is just, oh my goodness, it's just so beautiful. And we look forward to going back again at the end of this year, in fact. So yeah, St. Lucia is a great place for anyone who hasn't been And again, if you have been, go again. If you haven't, go. It's beautiful. You will love it. It's a very, very beautiful place to visit. Thank you so much for so many great questions. I really do appreciate you. I truly, truly do. This has been awesome.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, that is the episode. It's great having you on, Tavares, talking about your work as a health and transformation educator, and of course, your story and many other things. It's been great.
Thank you so very much. And hello to everybody who's listening right now. I thank you so very much for giving me the time and your energy to share this space with you. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I look forward to listening to more of your fantastic show.
Me too.
All right.
And until next time, stay tuned for more.
You got it. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.
Cheerio.
Bye bye.